I think there are reforms that we can have. We can bring forward John Brennan, James Clapper, but will they be honest when they have a history of dishonesty? I don't know if that can possibly happen. But one way we can get to the truth is we can ask President Trump to declassify some of this material. So I'm sending a letter to President Trump, and I'm going to ask him to declassify all the communications that had anything to do with people making a decision to put forward this Russian dossier and to begin a counterintelligence operation against President Trump. Realize that they were hiring people to be confidential informants to go try to entrap and trick the Trump members into doing something, into cooperating somehow with Russia. They didn't, but they were trying to get people to do this. We should not have our government, all the resources of the government, going after a political candidate and trying to set up a political candidate by sending informants and trying to get them to communicate with people. That's not really what our government should be doing. And if it is, we'll become such a polarized world that we'll be like the third world, where every other president's investigated and the next president puts the last president in jail. I don't think that's the kind of world we want to live in.
No, I think that's what you describe as a banana republic, sir. Not something that we want America to be. So, operating under the premise then that the Mueller probe and the counterintelligence probe at the FBI before that preceded it were built on a house of cards, that they were illegally started, or at least started in a corrupt fashion. What's your position on pardons? Should the president pardon those who did admittedly commit crimes but should not have been targeted based on an illegitimate probe to begin with?
I haven't looked at all of the individuals, but I'm very aware of what they did to General Flynn. And yes, I have asked the president. I think he deserves to be pardoned. And here's the thing. Not only should he be pardoned, we need to fix it so no one else gets trapped into this. We spy on foreigners, but we do it with a less than a constitutional standard, meaning that you don't call a judge if you want to spy on the Russian ambassador. They just do it. And it's kind of expected. They spy on our ambassador too. We spy on theirs. We listen to their phone calls if we're able to. And so I don't think you need a warrant for that. But if the person in their normal business, a political figure, is talking to a foreigner, you should never be allowed to listen to that phone conversation and apply and try to convict the American of a domestic crime when you don't have a warrant. Because this could happen to anybody. Let's say you're a big donor or a supporter of President Trump and someone in the FBI doesn't like you. They could go down through the FISA database, and if you're an international businessman or woman and you've been talking to people overseas, they can listen to your phone call. They could bring you in, quiz you about your phone call, and if you have anything inconsistent that you say about your phone call, which might be 3 months ago or 3 years ago, then you can be put in jail for lying to the FBI. That's not the kind of world we want to live in either. So I've talked to the president about a reform, and one of these reforms would be requiring that anybody that looks in this foreign intelligence, this is spying on foreigners, anybody that looks into it that wants to look up an American's name has to call a judge and say, we suspect this American of a crime and we want a warrant. You can look at Americans' data, but you have to have a warrant first. If we don't have that protection, this enormous FISA data bank just becomes a treasure trove for mischief for partisans like Brennan and Clapper and Comey.